Marketing team. For this video, we're going to be walking you through specifically this featured listings functionality that you have here on the big picture theme specifically. So we'll be walking you through how to go in there and edit your own listings and update them and add more. Like we may have mentioned before, please be aware that this functionality is not actually pulling from an MLS. It is something you will have to go in and manually update and add your own listings, but it's super easy, and that's what we're going to walk you through in this video. So if you do not have this functionality currently enabled on your site, please let us know, and we'll make sure to get it turned on for you and get everything working. And then if you have 3 initial listings you want to send over to us, we'll go ahead and add them for you and get you started. And then from there, you can go ahead and add more and play around with it a bit.
And guys, one thing to remember as well is, as Alex said, this is not connected to your MLS, and it's not an IDX solution. If you are looking for something like that, we do offer an IDX connectivity package. That's an additional $9.97 for that package, and then once you're started with that, you also need to set up an IDX link. We currently use a company called IDX Broker for those IDX connections, and they also charge a monthly fee. I think it's $39 to $69 a month, depending upon the features that you want within that IDX feed. So if you are looking for something like that, let us know. Just send us an email, that webteam@iMobileinnovations.com, and we can talk to you about how to add that. We personally think that this featured listings is awesome for most cases, for most scenarios. You know, it allows you to add those key properties that you're trying to market, or the ones that are kind of harder to move. You can add those and get those kind of upfront on your website, and that helps with that visibility.
All right, so we're going to go into the back end of the site now. I already have it open up here. So once you've logged into the back end of your site, you should be here. This is your dashboard. This is the home screen once you've logged in, and you have your navigation menu over here on the left side for all the all the categories and everything you might need. So we're just going to focus right now on this listings portion of the back end here. And obviously, if you're in here and you don't see this, it's because we need to enable it for you. So just let us know and we can get you started with this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the listings up there at the very top. So you'll see here, these are the listings. Looks like we have 6 in here initially on the site that we have open right now. You'll see these 3 that show up on the front are the ones that we have actually completely filled out. So those are those 3 that appear on the front there. I'm just going to click on one, and we'll look through it and look how everything's put together, and all the fields that are filled out and where everything goes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this listing here. I'll just click on the title, which happens to be the street address of that listing. So I clicked on that listing, and it's going to open it up in our editor here. So you'll see up here, this is the title of the listing. When we add them for you, we usually use the street address. It works best for the way they're displayed on the site. So that is the street address there. This main content area here, there's just some example text in here. But any text that goes in here, as well as images, anything you put in here, I'm going to go back to I'll keep switching back between the back and the front end and make sure to show what we're talking about on the front end as well. So this is the listing we are currently looking at. You'll see down here under this description tab all this text. So that is anything that you put back here in this content area is what's going to be pulled into that description tab. So description of the property, directions to the property, any additional information you want to put in there, it pulls it into this description tab here. So you'll notice along with that description tab, we have a details tab as well. If I click on that, there's just some more details about the house right there. If I go back to the listing in my editor and I scroll down, you'll see this section right here, property details, and you'll see this is where all that information is entered in. So price, the address, the MLS number you can put in there. You don't have to fill everything out. You'll see it doesn't display it if it's not filled out. So whatever you put in is what it's going to display. But you do have some more options there as far as the property details. If we scroll down below that, you'll see this section, the photo gallery here. We have these 2, you'll usually have more than 2 additional photos for the property, but to show right now, we have these two photos in here. So if I go back to the listing, there's a Photos tab. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see those are those 2 additional photos we have entered. And if you click on one of them, it kind of brings it up in this gallery view, and you can scroll through them that way.
And is there a limit to the number of photos you can put in there, Alex?
No, there is no limit, so you can go crazy and add as many as many additional photos for the property as you want. And like I said, it puts them in that gallery view, and it'll keep them all in a grid here and keep them nice and organized for you. So they'll be added in this big, large box here under the photo gallery section. And that's something we'll show you in a second on how to actually add those photos in there. If we scroll down a little further, you do have some other options. Obviously, there's a lot more to these listings than you need to use, that you need to fill out. So I'm just kind of hitting the main ones. You're welcome to play around with any of this other functionality that you see here, but I'm kind of showing you the most important things that you might need to add for your listing. Down here, you'll see we have a section called the Enter Map Embed Code. So this is how that map gets displayed down here below the photo. So we have a little Google map here of the property that someone could look at and move around, play with. You know, they can get directions or save it, whatever they need to do here. So that's that code that I've dropped in there. And again, I'll show how to grab that code from Google Maps. It's super simple, and then you just paste it right in that box there. Down below that, we have additional details. This is just, you know, a place where you can put in any additional details on specific features of the homes. You know, a kitchen, if you want to put more details specifically about the kitchen, you know, it'll display it for you on the listing in a more detailed fashion. Living room, stuff like that. So if we go back up, we're going to look over here on the right side now. So there are some other options over here on the right side. I'm going to start actually down here. This featured image right here, it's already set. If we look back at the listing, that featured image is this large image here. That is the main image that you want for the property. And if we go back to the home page, it's also that image it uses right there as well. So that image, and then as well as, you know, it's the same one here, the bigger image on the main page. That's the featured image for the listing.
And you can also put that featured image in that gallery as well. I know we didn't in this example here, but that would also be a way you could do that, to add that to that little slideshow that it brings up when you're looking to that gallery. Especially if you have 20 or 30 photos, that might be a good way, just because, you know, people will go through and want to click through the gallery and see everything.
Exactly. So if we go up here, you have more options. Features is a good one. I'll show you how to use that in a second. We don't have any set for this. I'll show you how to use that when we add a new listing. You can categorize your property types. You can make your own, or you can use, there's only a few already here, but you're free to make your own. And then I'll show you how you can use that later to kind of categorize everything on the front end of the site, so it's easier for someone to look up a certain property type. The most important one here on the side is this status one. You'll see the box that we have checked right now is homepage. So if the homepage box is checked, that determines, if we go back to the homepage, that determines which 3 are going to show up under your featured listings. You can have many more than 3 listings on the site, but checking that homepage box determines which 3 show up here. So, you know, if you have 10 listings on the site, make sure, just if you have 3 selected, you'll know that those are going to be on the homepage. If you want to switch out which ones are showing on the homepage, just unselect the one that's marked homepage that you don't want there and select a new one with homepage, and that'll make sure to display those ones on the homepage under that featured listing section there.
Now, Alex, how is that ordered when you're, is that by date entry, or do you know on that?
I believe it's by date entry.
Okay.
So yeah, again, the most newest one that you've marked homepage will probably pull it to the front. I believe it is on date entry, but the only 3 that are marked homepage are the ones that are going to be showing up there.
And one side note too that I have seen is, as you probably have been explained, this site is what they call responsive, and so that allows it to work on multiple different devices, so tablets and phones and all these things, and it kind of removes and changes the way that this displays. If you do have a large amount of properties in your system, it's not a bad idea to add 4 or more to that homepage, because as it moves around, there is one setting, and I think that's an iPad, that actually has 4, because it shows the 2 on top and then 2 below that. once it gets a little bit smaller. So just as a note, if you do run across the thing where on an iPad they're only seeing 3 and there's a blank spot and you're wondering why that is, you can add another one to that and that'll fix that problem.
Exactly. All right, so let's go back to our listing here. So back to that status section, you'll see homepage is selected so that this one is displaying on the homepage. Obviously, if we go back here, you'll see these two. We're looking at this one, but you'll see these two have these banners across the top corner, kind of to categorize them and to show to the user, you know, which ones are new, which this one's sold. If we go back, that is what the status is used for. Homepage is the only one that won't put that banner in the corner. It's used solely for determining which ones appear on the homepage. So you are welcome to select more than one along with homepage. So for example, if we wanted this, if this property to say for rent in that banner across the corner, we can check that box as well. It's okay to have that one and the homepage box selected. And we'll show how to do that again when we add a new listing.
And one other question too, Alex, if you go back here, can you also show how these, I think you may have gone over it, but I don't think we pointed out the
exactly
the little labels here, so the residential and commercial labels.
So those, we did look at those earlier. Those are going to be the property types. So yeah, so like Sean said, again, that property type is displayed there. We're on a different listing now.
Yeah, I accidentally selected that.
So we'll go back. That's a good point. So along with those banners in the top, you can display the property type down here as well. So residential and commercial, like I mentioned before, that is under property type. So whatever box is selected in there is going to be what displays in that bottom right corner. And then you're always welcome to add your own as well.
And one other thing I know from talking with a few customers that I just always want to point out, there are multiple places in here that the address is shown. And we've had a few customers that when adding a bunch of them, they accidentally get some addresses mixed up and get very confused very quickly. So when you're going through adding one, make sure that you know, this address here, there's another one right here, which is actually pulled off of this one when you're creating it new. And there's also the address down here as well. You just want to make sure that those always match. If you get in a hurry and you mess that up, then you can get really confused really fast.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So now that we've looked at a listing that's already been added, I'm going to go back to our main listings page here, and we're going to go through the process of adding a new one. So here we are back at our main listings page. You'll see over here on the left side under this drop-down menu, there is an add new link there, and then there's also an add new button up here. So I'm going to click this one at the top. So here we are on our new listing. Everything's empty, same screen as I showed you before, so we're going to go through the process of filling it out. So I am going to use the address of the Cardinals Stadium where Super Bowl 49 was just played here in Phoenix. So that's the street address of the stadium. I left off you know, Glendale, Arizona, and the zip code. Purely just you know, for the name of the listing, I'm going to use that street address. So type something in there. That's going to be the description.
And you'll notice that as Alex entered that and went into the next box, that it already created this this little guy that's highlighted. What that is that's the actual, if I were to copy this whole thing here and paste that in my browser, that would be the page that it would go to. Now we haven't published it, so it's not live yet, but that is that URL if you needed to send somebody a listing after you've created it, that's where that is. And that should be automatically created for you.
So we filled out our title, we filled out our description. I'm going to keep going down through the list here. We got our property details, so let's put in a price. I'm going to say $1,000 to buy the whole stadium. The address again, I'm going to just copy this. That's the street address there. City, Glendale, Arizona, 85305. MLS number, I'll just type something in. Obviously, like I said, you don't have to fill all these out. Whatever you leave blank just won't be displayed, so it's not like it's going to show up but blank. Year built, I honestly don't know. I'm going to put
2002 or 5 or something.
1999.
Sure.
Floors, I don't know.
4.
Square feet, a lot.
100 million, I don't know.
Let's do 100,000 just as a number. Lot square feet, I'm not going to fill that in. Bedrooms, I don't know, as an example, we'll do 5, bathroom 6, just so we can see how it
Those
displays.
are big bedrooms.
Yeah. And let's say there's a pool at the stadium as well. Okay, so we have all that filled out. Now, pretty self-explanatory what needs to go in those boxes. And like I said, you don't have to fill all those out. So we'll go down here to our photo gallery. So the photo gallery is going to go in this box down here. So just make sure you're clicked in the box and then click that Add Media button. So I'm on the Add Media page here. You'll see all these images here are just images that have been uploaded to our site at one point or another. This is the media library. You'll see up here the media library for our site that we're on. And then also you can upload files if you click this Upload tab here. So once you're on this page, instead of being on the Insert Media page here, we want to go to the Create Gallery because we want to create a photo gallery. Like I showed before, when you click on a photo, it kind of blacks out the background of the screen and just brings up that image, and then you can cycle through them in a really nice way. So we'll make sure we're on Create Gallery here. Make sure it says Create Gallery up at the top. And then you're free to choose, again, we're on the Upload Files tab. You're free to choose any of the files, images you want to upload, all the additional property photos. Just select them from your computer, and then down here you want to hit Create New Gallery. I'm just going to grab some from the media library that we already have. So say these are all the images. These, I'm going to select all of these. So those are all the additional property images I want to add for my listing. So those are selected. I'm going to go down here in the corner and I'm going to hit Create a New Gallery. It's going to take me to this page. There's nothing you need to change here. It just kind of shows you, last chance to add some more or remove some, whatever. Or you can even rearrange them on this page too if you click them and drag them around.
And it says that caption this image, and I assume that way you can say this is the bathroom number 1 and home, our living room, and the kitchen in this case number 2, kitchen number 3 I think over there. And that
exactly.
kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so adding a caption, that's a good point. Down here below the image, when it is in that gallery view, it'll display that caption, so you can put a description of the image down below like that.
And you can edit these later. If you forget 2 images, that's not a big deal to do, right?
Exactly. It's easy to go back and add images, remove some, add a caption, whatever you need to do. So if I'm ready to go, I'm going to hit Insert Gallery down here. And you'll see it just drops them in here in this grid for me. And then we'll look at how they display on the front end as well. But it puts them all in here for me. Like Sean said, if you need to go back and edit them, if you click on them, there is a little option up here. It's not displaying on my screen for some reason. There is an edit option up there that you can click on to edit the gallery again. Once they've been uploaded, if you need to completely redo it and you just want to delete all these and you go back to add media, since they've already been uploaded, they're going to be in your media library. If you ever need to redo it, you don't have to worry about finding those images on your computer again once they've been uploaded. So we got the gallery added there. And then the last part down here that we looked at earlier was that Google Map code. So I'm going to grab the street address here. So I'm just going to open up a new tab. I'm going to go to Google Maps. Oops. So Google Maps here. So now we're on Google Maps. I'm going to enter the address. There it is, 1 Cardinals Drive, Glendale, Arizona. I click that. There's the stadium. So make sure you're on the correct listing. You're on the property that that you're creating the listing for. As long as everything on the map looks good to go, we're going to go down here in the right-hand corner, and you'll see there's this little cog wheel down here in the very bottom right. If I click on that, and then I want to go up to Share or Embed Map. I'm going to click on that. So that's going to bring up this little window here. I don't want the link. I want the actual code. So I'm going to click Embed Map. And there's the code that I want. You don't have to worry about changing the size unless you want to of the map. The medium size is a good default size. So I'm just going to copy that code right there. And I'm going to go back to my listing. And under that Enter Map Embed Code, that's what I'm going to do. I'll just copy that code that I just grabbed in there. So that is the Google Map that I've pasted in there. And like I said before, there's tons of additional things you can fill, additional details. You can break down certain rooms of the house if you want to under here, school and neighborhood info, whatever you need to do. So making our way back up, I'm going to hit stuff on this right-hand sidebar now that we talked about earlier. So down here at the bottom, I want to make sure to set the featured image. That is that main image that displays when the listings are all laid out, and then when you click an individual listing, it is that main image it uses for the listing as well.
No, and that's probably the most important image to get in there, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm going to click Set Featured Image. Again, it's going to pull up our upload screen here. We have the media library, so if it's something we've already used on the site before, we can grab it from there. Or again, we have that upload tab, so we're going to select it from our computer wherever we have it saved. Unfortunately, I don't have any images of the stadium, so I'm going to add this. Actually, I'm going to add this photo down here with the pool. So I'm going to add this as our featured image, our main image for the listing. So I'm just going to click the one I want, set featured image, and you'll see it just drops it right down in there under featured image, so you can see which one you've picked. Making our way back up, features. So this is a cool area. If you say, we said the stadium had a pool, so say this listing has a pool. I can type in pool, and I'm gonna hit add. And it's gonna add a little pool tag down here. You could say it has a garage as well. I hope most houses have a garage, but you can add that there. So you can add similar tags, and once you've used these features over and over again in this section, it'll start to suggest them for you, so you don't have to type them all out. It'll know which ones you've already used. You'll see this link down here, choose from the most used features. And I'll show you how it uses these features on the listings page. It just makes it really easy. It's kind of like tagging the listing with a certain feature, and then if someone's looking for a house with a pool, they can click pool and it'll show them all the listings with the pool. So it's just a good way to categorize things further if you want to.
And you can add pretty much anything you want to there, right?
Yeah, you can add you can make up your own features. You can type them however you want right in that box. Property types, like we talked about, we'll say this is commercial. I'll go back up to the very top. So that status section is what we are most worried about here. If we want it on the homepage, like I said, we're going to select homepage. We already have 3 on there. I'm going to select a different one. So we're going to say that the stadium is pending, and that is our status for that listing. And that's everything we need to fill out. Like I said, there's much more you can play around with, but those are the most important things there. And I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. So our listing is published here. You'll see post published. You can just easily view the post that way. I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to refresh it. So we didn't select homepage, so it's not showing down here. Oh, yes it is. It is showing down there. So it is taking the most recent one and adding it down there. I think the reason it added it is we don't have these selected as homepage. It's just taking the most recent 3 right now, but you can use that homepage status to actually pick and choose which ones you want. But if you don't have homepage selected on any of them, it'll take the most recent 3, which is what it's doing right now. So this is the one we just added the listing here. You'll see it's pending. 1 Cardinals Drive, $1,000. We can click on it. And here's our listing page that we just added. There's our description, our details that we all added in. There's those tagged features. So you could click on those, and if any properties that were tagged with a pool or garage, you would get all the results for those. So that's how those tagged features are used down there. Our additional photos here, the Google map that we pasted in. And then each listing has this listing inquiry box by default. You don't have to worry about adding that yourself. It's just kind of a little contact form associated with a specific listing. So when someone fills this out, you'll get an email notification, and it's tied to a specific listing. So even if they don't mention what listing they're talking about, it will tell you it is tied to this listing. So you know which property they're asking about. So yeah, we'll go back up here. I'm going to go back to the homepage. So that's how to add a listing or update a listing. Let's go back to the listings page. If you need to remove a listing, that is also very easy to do. You don't even have to open the listing. So let's remove the one we just created, this top one here, this 1 Cardinals Drive. You'll see if I hover over the title, this little menu pops up below it, and there's a trash button. All you need to do is hit that trash button. And that's going to remove it for you. So you see now it's gone from your main screen here. You'll see there is a trash tab. If you need to go in there, it's still there. You'll see there's one in there. That's the one we just deleted. You can permanently delete it from the trash if you want to, but it is actually just saved in the trash now. So if you need to restore it, you can restore it very easily. So now that we've gone over that, I'll talk about those statuses that we talked about more. So like the new, pending, for rent, reduced, these that we have here. The way to use those is if we go down here under appearance, and we're going to go to our menus section. So this menu that we have here, this is our main navigation menu for the homepage of the site. You'll see it's in the same order as we see on the homepage. About, blog, it ends with contact. That is this menu here. So if you need to rearrange that, you can just grab a page, you can drag it around if you want to change the order. But I'll show you how to use those listing statuses to display them on the homepage. So you see over here, well, let's minimize this. We have all of our different options on ways to make page links, and there's tons of options here. So there's that status section that we have for each listing. I'm going to expand that. You see there's most used, view all. It'll just show you all the statuses that are available. Obviously, you could have your own ones in here if you've created your own statuses. So for example, I want to use the for rent status. I want a page with all the for rent properties only on it. I'm going to click for rent, add to menu. You'll see it drops a link over here on the menu, puts it at the very end by default. So I could put it anywhere I want in my menu. If I wanted it the very first thing on the menu, I could put it up there, and now for rent is going to be the first thing on my navigation bar. A better way to do it is if you already have a listings page, and that listings page is going to show all of your listings when someone clicks on it. I can take that for rent. Let's bring it down here. Right now it's going to come after listings if I leave it this way. But if I grab it and I pull it in a little bit to the right, you see it indents it for me. Now if I let go, it stays indented. So now listings is going to be a drop-down menu, and for rent is going to be a sub-item under that menu. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hit save menu down here just to save those changes. So if we go back, let's refresh our page here. So you'll see up here at the top, we have our listings section, and now there is a drop down under it for our for rent listings. So if I click listings, like I said, we had 6 in here initially, 3 that are filled out and 3 that don't have images. So these are all of our listings that we've added to the site. And now if we go back to listings and we click that for rent page we just added, well, we don't have any in there, but let's use one that does. This is good. Let's add another one. Let's see. Thought we had a for rent one. Let's say most used. We'll just use sold. Add to menu. So let's put a sold one in there as well. Again, I'm going to put it as a drop down under listings. I'm going to indent it a little bit. I'm going to hit save. Okay. I know we have a sold property. So I'm going to refresh the page. I'm going to go up here to listings, and there's our sold one that we just added. So if I click sold, there's our one sold property that we have tagged as sold. So using those statuses, it's an easy way to arrange things on the front end of the site, like this. Makes it easier for people to look up certain categories or find properties they're looking for faster. So, anything else, Sean?
No, I think that's it. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if you're doing these menus and you're trying to add a few of them, make sure that it's not indented like this, because what that means is under info there's buyer info, and then seller info is under bio info. So you want to make sure that it's indented the right level. Like the listings for rent sold, you don't want that, because then sold is under for rent. So you want to make sure that it's on the same way. Just as a clarification, because I could see people doing the other way.
Right.
But other than that, no, that's pretty much all that you should need to know on the listings piece. If you do run into questions, obviously let us know. We're available at that webteam@iMobileinnovations.com email address. Happy to help you if we need, if you need something. And other than that, it should be pretty set. It should be simple to add those things and make your site look awesome. So
yep, sounds good. Please let us know if you need any help, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.